Running hot means like when you're a kid, you're running around and you could, at any point in the day, you could just run full speed. Did you warm up? Did you stretch? No, but your body was running hot, which meant when we were younger, our nervous systems were primed and ready to go at all times. Like I remember playing pickup basketball, jumping into a full court game. Like I wasn't worried about an Achilles and knee blowing out. It's like, so what happens over the years is our nervous system becomes depressed. And when it gets to the point where I have to produce forces as fast as my body's telling me to, and can't, something happens, a tear, a rupture. But our guys are always running hot. So we train them this way during combine training, actually, because we have micro sessions throughout the day. I train them twice in 2 speed sessions in a day. People are like, well, how do you do that? I'm like, well, the first session, I don't talk. I let them warm up. I let them do a couple runs, couple resisted runs, couple jumps, and we go home. It's an hour from beginning to end. Then we come back and I talk and we do starts and we do a little bit more work. And then we go to the weight room. It's not complicated, but you can do these things. You just have to have the confidence that weight room coaches have confidence you can lift every day. Well, there's some type of running, sprinting, and there's some type of adaptation you can get out of every day. So, but yeah, I could go on for hours on that.
There's so many things. You know, you talked about game day. Now, I first heard of something like this with Jimmy Ratcliffe, who was a TFC speaker,
that's
Mr.
my guy.
Biometrics. Yeah, great. And, and he tried to do a high CNS thing in the weight room. He did like 1 set of snatches on the day of a game to prep. And so that kind of gave me the idea that, holy cow, if that was good, how about our short speed workout the day of a game?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, if a kid does less than 60 seconds of work and you feel better after the workout than you felt before, doesn't that qualify as the greatest warm-up of all times?
100%.
100%. And so we actually have some high school football programs now, Feed the Cats programs, that are not only doing my atomic speed workout, which is 10 speed drills and 2 time sprints, not only doing it instead of their BS warm-up that they used to do, but they're actually doing it on game day. And it's like, that sounds great. And the other thing, I think that sports in America was set back, terribly by the idea of periodization, where we had periods of time that performance did not matter. And, I'm like the anti-periodization guy who says, what I say is never drift from a state of performance.
Yeah.
It goes right along with what you're talking about with little kids. That they're able to sprint at the drop of a hat. Whereas you have these future multi-million-dollar athletes that you're working with who can't, because they have drifted. Some of them have drifted for 4 freaking years of college football away from a state of sprint performance. Now, they maybe arguably were in a state of football performance for most of that time.
Yeah.
But you cannot go 3 months, 6 months and say, all I'm going to do is lift. This is a hypertrophy stage for 6 months, because you drifted from a state of performance.
Yeah, from that quality. Yeah, it's a vertical integration model. And like borrowing from weightlifting and things like that in powerlifting for running-based sports was a mistake. And some, obviously there's some positive things from it, but yeah, like you could do that in powerlifting, like, because in the end, like you're trying to get a maximal output, further down the line. So building and growing in the hypertrophy phase and the strength phase and the power, you could do that. Sprinting, you can't. You have to stay vertically integrated, and that's the biggest thing I learned from Charlie, is like keeping it in there, running hot.
What does that mean?
Vertical integration?
Yeah. What does that mean?
It means all things are present at all times. So when I'm doing strength, speed is present, but things take different emphasis at different time periods. So like you mentioned, you do speed endurance runs at certain capacity type stuff. Now, there's probably some type of capacity at all times, but you probably put more emphasis on it on certain blocks, and then you pull back on other blocks. So you're just pulling levers like, strength takes that priority, speed takes a priority, power. Like if you have 6 different qualities, maybe technique takes a big emphasis. Like when you first start the day one practice, like what does that look like? So yeah, that's vertically integrated.